Go Bills.
For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliott Apollo's. Call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Bill Canvas. I am your co-host, Pat Bruckness, and alongside right next to me is my other co-host, Tommy Giambra. Tommy, where can everybody find you? You're muted.
Sorry, happened again.
You're good.
But you could find me on X at @GiambraT and everywhere else at Tommy Giambra.
All right, and Tommy, we have a lot of big news coming out. We do have the NFL Hall of Fame game today. Finally, football is back until February, and hopefully we're playing in that final game.
100%.
Now, before we get started, we have a lot to talk about training camp and everything like that, though. But what are you looking for out of the Hall of Fame game?
I'm looking forward like the guys that the backup see who can make an impact on each side of the ball, like on offense and defense. I think Kyle Allen is starting for the Lions, and I think Trey Lance is starting for the Chargers. So I'm excited to see like what these quarterbacks can do, to see if they can latch on to their current roster, or somebody else pick them up as a backup and maybe make a strong case to maybe even have a start in the regular season. How about you, Pat?
Yeah, I'm looking for the same thing because, a lot of these guys, unfortunately, there's not a lot of spots to be filled around NFL rosters. You only got 53, and a lot of the teams already have their foundation set. So you're looking at, the players that, that could make the roster. But again, with teams like Dallas, Detroit, and especially Detroit being a, playoff contending team, Super Bowl hopes, you're not going to have a lot of spots open for them. So, and I think Chris Tabor, our new special teams coordinator, said it best. We want to make sure these guys can get a job somewhere else. If they can't make our roster here, or we can't swing them onto a practice squad. So I think that's what the preseason is all about. And let's see what you have, the players that you developed, and camp competition, which we'll talk about later, with the cornerback 2 position with the Bills. Not really a competition anymore, unfortunately, for the time being. Defensive end and running back 2. So, yeah, that's kind of what preseason is all about. That's kind of the Hall of Fame game is about. It's just an extended game. And it's, I love the Hall of Fame game because it showcases the legends that played the game before the current players. Right. They paved the way for these guys that are playing now. So I love the Hall of Fame game, and I think you're pretty spot on. I think you're pretty spot on.
Thanks, man.
No problem. Training camp. What do you want to start with? We got some good news with Maxwell Harrison.
Yeah.
Not tearing his ACL. I know there's a report by Circle the Wagons podcast.
Yeah.
Per sources. You were wrong.
What I got to say about that is, like, check your sources before you tweet something like that, because, like, that could lead to so many mishaps, and, like, people believe in it, and, like, if you don't have a real source, don't tweet it out. And then he kept it on there till, like, 3:00 in the afternoon, and everybody was telling him to take it down, and he still didn't take it down. So that's another thing too. Like, if you know you're wrong and the tweet is still out there, please take it down, because you're just making yourself look bad.
Yeah, it was as bad as the fake Adam Schefter account that was going around. And I'm sure Circle the Wagons has been right before with certain things, but with certain, I believe, I'm not saying he did this or they did this, but it felt like they tried jumping the gun because it looks like that's what it was.
Yeah.
And trying to jump the gun and make it look like, hey, we have legitimacy.
Right.
So that's why you don't do that, because if you're wrong, it's gonna come down and bite you.
Right.
That's
and
why
we got the real report a couple hours after his tweet saying that it's an LCL sprain, and he could be out possibly 2 to 4 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, he could come back as early as 3 weeks. Yep.
Yeah, as 3 weeks. So we got the best case scenario out of that, and I'm just thankful it's not his ACL, because if it was the ACL, then it would slow down his development at corner, and I feel like it just would have hurt him, and I know that he would have been devastated You know what I'm saying? If it was the ACL. So thank goodness it was only the LCL, and he'll only miss about 2 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, no, and I definitely agree with you. Shout out to Student Body Right. As always, he's always right. We gotta start a trend with that. We gotta get like a video clip that pops up that says Student Right is always right.
Student right, always right.
Shout out to Student. He posted it the night beforehand.
Mhm.
That is not an ACL, but he will be out for quite some time. But thankfully, like you said, it was not. And thankfully, Jordan Schultz came out and reported it first. That the first mainstream guy came out and said it is not a torn ACL because being a rookie, drafted in the first round, you want to go out there, you want to compete. Obviously he's competing for the second cornerback position. Yep. So if he would have tore his ACL, it would have been you go back on the practice field next year. You got to fight. It's a mental battle just as well as physical battle. Obviously, physical comes, but can you overcome that hurdle of mental? Which we saw that with Tre'Davious White. He was prepared to come back physically, but mentally he was not there, and we saw that. You saw that even against the Rams last year when he signed with the Rams. Then he got traded to Baltimore. And he started finding his footing, and obviously now he's here and he's looking like Trey White of old.
Yep.
And he already said himself, this is his first offseason where he can actually do what he has to do in the offseason. He's not just rehabbing a certain spot on his body. So thankfully it is not that. And because I felt like Maxwell Harrison, Brandon Beane said it best, he was a matchup piece. He's a matchup piece for Xavier Worthy, which by the way, Maxwell Harrison's a 96 overall speed overall.
That's amazing.
Madden. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So
speed on Madden. As a rookie too. A rookie corner, say that.
Yeah, rookie corner.
Rookie corner have a 90.
Right, rookie corner. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
it is. And having a guy like that, especially in our guys in our division as well, because we go up against plenty of speedsters. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Xavier Worthy, Zay Flowers has some wheels. Jamar Chase is Jamar Chase. Now we can afford Maxwell Harrison. We got Maxwell. We could just if Maxwell Harrison can be what he's supposed to be, put him on one side of the field, he's locked up. Right. You got Christian Benford on the other side. Then you have Taron Johnson in the slot, who I will fight with anybody about this. Taron Johnson is the best slot corner in all of football. Argue with a wall there. He's better than Trent McDuffie.
100%.
So let's talk about some training camp, Tommy.
I was going to say, with the Maxwell injury, Babbage came out and said today that Dorian Strong was going to get most of his reps at cornerback 2 possibly, or cornerback 3. How is your take on that? Having Dorian Strong be back there. I mean, I think he's been looking pretty good in camp. How about you?
Yeah, I know Dorian Strong has been saying after practice late with guys like Christian Benford, picking their brain, because that's what these guys are here for. Christian Benford learned from guys like Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, even though they were safeties, but he also learned from Tre'Davious White when he was here, even though he was rehabbing. And they didn't spend that much time together on the field, unfortunately. But Dorian Strong is a guy who has played very well so far in training camp, coming out of Virginia Tech?
Virginia Tech, yep.
In the 6th round. Now, Tommy, I was talking to somebody about this the other day, right? In 2022, when we drafted Kyer Elam, I believe it was 2022.
Okay.
We took Kyer Elam in the 1st round. Who do we take in the 6th round?
We took Christian Benford.
Yes. Right? Now, who do we take in the 1st round this year?
We took Maxwell Harrison.
Who do we take in the 6th round?
Was it Dorian Strong?
Yes. What I'm trying to say is we double dip at corner, and Sean McDermott and this coaching staff,
Tommy, they know what they're doing when they do that. I feel like it's a trend. They know what they're doing when they do that. I feel like it's a good trend. So, but hopefully, I'm hoping hopefully both the 1st and 6th round this year they pan out. You know what I'm saying? Fingers crossed because that
they
both pan out, because they could be lethal in our secondary if they both pan out.
They can be, and I trust Sean McDermott and the defensive coaching staff with this defense, especially guys in the secondary, cornerbacks, free safeties, strong safeties, even linebackers. Man, Terrell Bernard. Nobody expected Terrell Bernard to be what he is. I think Terrell Bernard's underrated. But back to Dorian Strong, if he beats out Maxwell Harrison, he beats out Maxwell Harrison. Yeah. Iron sharpens iron. And if you want to be out there on the field on a Super Bowl contending team, you got to be the best man. Best man wins the job.
But honestly, me and all Bills fans and of course you, Pat, I feel like we want Maxwell to succeed, being the number 1 pick for the Bills. So I feel like this guy with his speed and his athleticism, I think he can dwell in this defense and be a much better player than Kyrie Elam was.
Yeah, and shout out to Kyrie Elam. I was talking to a student about this last night. Kyrie Elam did great things for us, especially on the practice field. He was great at practice, and that's what the student was talking about last night. Kyrie Elam has 4 picks in Dallas training camp right now. Yeah, he did that in Buffalo too.
Yeah.
With in practice, he looked good, but it just didn't translate to the field.
Yeah.
Now you've seen guys like Dorian Strong, Maxwell Harrison. Brandon Bean said it best. Maxwell Harrison would have been a top 15 pick if he was a better tackler. Now, Tommy, who does that remind you of?
Trey
We
White.
drafted him in 20. Yes, ding,
Trey
ding,
White?
ding. Man, you're putting on a freaking clinic today.
I'm
yeah.
trying. You give me some tough questions, Pat.
I have to.
I love it.
Iron sharpens iron.
You put me on notice. I like it.
Yeah, iron sharpens iron. So yeah, Tre'Davious White was in the same spot. Tre'Davious White is taking what 27? No, 27. No, he wasn't.
Was it
27.
or was it
2015? 2016?
We traded. Didn't we trade up to get him?
Yeah, we traded with Kansas City. They took Mahomes.
Yeah. Or
So,
we traded
anyways,
back. We traded back to get him, actually.
yes, we traded back. So we had the 10th pick, and apparently Terry Pagula wanted Patrick Mahomes, but that's a different conversation because we had the best quarterback in the NFL now.
Right. Yeah.
But back to Tre'Davious White being drafted where he would have been a better higher pick if he were to have been a lower pick actually. If he would have been a better tackler. That sounds just like Trey White.
Yeah.
But Trey White has sneaky wheels, but he's not as fast as Maxwell Harrison.
Right.
I mean, Tommy, look at that Taron Johnson pick 6 in 2020 in the divisional round. Taron Johnson is hauling downfield. Tre'Davious White's right next to him, outrunning Lamar Jackson to get so. And obviously, Trey White's had a few injuries since then. But what I'm trying to get to is this coaching staff knows how to draft cornerbacks, especially. And I have all the confidence in the world. If it's Dorian Strong, it's Dorian Strong. If it's Maxwell Harrison, it's Maxwell Harrison.
Yep.
But I do think it'll be Trey White. And I think that's a perfect
so too.
segue.
I think he's on track to start week 1 against the Ravens. And like Whittle was saying on Coast to Coast last night, I mean, if we can get 2023 Trey White, look out because this defense is going to be sick.
Yeah, and you look at Tre'Davious White from 2023. That's the year he tore his ACL, right, on Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
That year, he...
No, he tore it against Miami, I think. It was week 3.
No, he tore the Achilles against Miami.
That's right. Okay, yeah. What that was 2020. Was that 22 or 23?
Oh, my goodness. So, in 23, he tore his Achilles.
That's
22, he tore his ACL.
Okay.
Yes.
That's great. Okay, yeah.
I mean, either one. I mean, even in that 2023 season against, Miami, Trey White looked good for those first 3 weeks, locking up, Tyreek Hill, which, the Bills do all the time. But still, I mean, if you go back to Trey White from 2022, if he's 80% of that, Tre'Davious White did not allow a touchdown up into that whole season. Right. Obviously going out with a torn ACL on Thanksgiving. What, 11 weeks in?
Mm-hmm.
So if we get that.
Yeah,
man.
And he can stay healthy, then the back end of our defense will be very strong.
I agree. And so, I think me and you are both in a agreement here with the cornerback 2 position. Cornerback 1, CB47, Christian Benford. Cornerback 2 will be Tre'Davious White.
Yep.
Cornerback. Well, do you count Taron Johnson as cornerback 3 or slot?
I just count him as slot 1. I don't know if I would count him as cornerback 3. Because he's typically just a slot guy. You know what I'm saying? Covers the slot receiver. So
I agree. So we'll put Taron in the slot, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
Then you have who would be cornerback 3 on the boundary?
Well, if Harrison's healthy, it'd probably be Strong, wouldn't it?
Ooh, see now, lack of this reminds me a little bit of Corey Bishop last year.
You have Benford, Trey White. Third would be, I guess, third would be Maxwell. Then fourth would be Darian Strong, and then you have Teron in the slot.
Do you think Dane Jackson makes the team?
I mean, I think he's a bubble guy. You got to see. They're going to want to see what he does. I think they're going to test him out in preseason to see how he does. If he's doing well and he's making the plays, you could definitely see him as like a depth guy and making the roster.
I agree because you're not really hearing anything about Dane Jackson, which is weird, because kind of like offensive lineman. If you don't hear anything about the guy, he's doing good.
Then he must be doing good if you're not hearing anything.
Right. But at the same time, at training camp, you would like to hear something. about
Right.
Dane Jackson, but we're not. But I mean,
Mhm.
it's fine. But I agree
Yeah.
with you. It'll be Benford, Trey White, obviously Taron in the slot,
Mhm.
Maxwell, Dorian,
Dorian, yeah.
and then Dane Jackson. If we keep what would that be, 36 corners, which I think we will.
Yeah.
And then obviously the safety
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
Let's talk on that a little bit.
We have a lot of depth at that position, unlike other years where we haven't had that depth. And you can't forget about Marcus Ingram too.
Yes, and he played pretty well against
Jamarcus
Miami
Ingram,
back
sorry,
3.
Jamarcus
Yeah, Jamarcus Ingram. He played well week 3 against
Yeah,
Miami.
I mean,
Thursday Night Football.
That's another guy. And Cam Lewis, he's a versatility safety / corner. So another guy, like, it's like there's a lot of depth there at that position,
There is, and now Cam Lewis won't be the first guy off the bench. Neither
Right.
will Jamarcus Ingram.
Right.
Where last year we needed depth at cornerback and we didn't have it. So I mean,
Mhm.
let's not forget Dane Jackson is a starting corner caliber player. He just
Right.
started for Carolina last year. He was starting for us in that 13-second year.
Yep.
Now, let's talk a little bit about safety.
Okay.
Are we in agreement that's Cole Bishop and Taylor Rapp?
That's where I have it right now. Is I have Cole Bishop and Taylor Rapp. I think that's your starting tandem, and then you have
Who's quarterback? Who's safety 3?
I think what's the guy we got from Washington? What's his name?
Derek Force, the guy.
Yeah, I think Derek Forrest
yeah.
and maybe DeMar Hamlin. I mean, that could be a tie, but I got to see how both those guys do in preseason. And then I'll judge to see who is safety 3.
I'm going to say
I need to look at the tape, and we need to look at tape and see what they do in preseason games to see who is safety 3. Because that could be
yeah. Go ahead.
Because Hamlin was having trouble last year in coverage a lot. So
yeah, and he took bad angles, man.
Yeah,
you saw it obviously in the Baltimore game. He wanted no part of Derrick Henry. Who would back in what?
I think
4?
Forrest, he's more of a coverage guy too. So I think
and he's more athletic too. He's
more athletic. So he might have the edge over Hamlin maybe.
But you got it. Sean McDermott does favor guys who knows the system.
Know the system. You're right.
Right. So now does DeMar Hamlin win that job because of that?
I mean,
I think it comes down to preseason.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, we gotta see tape on these guys to see how they're doing in coverage. Like, are they reading their assignments correctly? Everything like that. Like, it all comes down to execution. If they can whoever can execute the best, that's who's going to be the third safety.
Right, and I think it comes down to special teams as well.
Right. Yeah, special
this coaching staff loves versatility. Guys that can play multiple positions, like a Jamarcus Ingram, like a Cam Lewis. And if Derek Forrest can play special teams, and so does DeMar Hamlin,
a lock.
Right. Now it's not. I believe they're both special teamers, and Derek Forrest said he's willing to play special teams.
Mm-hmm.
So DeMar Hamlin doesn't even have the edge there. He's gonna have to beat him out in preseason in live reps.
Yeah.
So I know they've been splitting reps with the second team. So
we'll see how it plays out. I mean, we got next week is week 1 of the preseason, so we'll see how it plays out.
Yes, and then I'll be able to give you guys live footage. I'll make sure to text it to Tommy, have him post it.
Nice.
For the Bills-Bears preseason game.
All right.
I'll keep an eye on the Derek Forrest and DeMar Hamlin.
Oh yeah. Definitely take a look at that just to see how we're doing it.
Now,
I want to talk linebacker. How about you? You want to talk linebacker? I mean, I feel like this could be Milano's all pro year, man. I've been hearing great things in training camp. Like, he's been making play after play after play, and that gets me very excited because, like I said, this could possibly be his last year in Buffalo. But I feel like if he balls out and he's back to form and he stays healthy, I think the Bills give him another contract. What do you think, Pat?
I think if Matt Milano plays well, he will see another contract with the Bills. I don't think that this is his final year in Buffalo. I believe Brandon Beane said in one of his pressers as well. This doesn't mean goodbye, Matt Milano.
No,
this is not a farewell season, right? Yeah. I think it's more of a kind of a cautious thing because the last 2 years he has had injuries, unfortunately.
Yep.
Now, if he plays well, I was talking, I believe it was Kevin Masseri about this in Twitter space. He said that you want Matt Milano to play well, but you don't want him to play too well. He comes out of your price range. But now at the same time, we've seen it with guys like Tre'Davious White, Jordan Phillips. They want to come back because they know the system. They're comfortable in the system. They excel in the system. Because this is not a system where, you have the main guy be Matt Milano and then, the rest are, below average players. Correct. This system does well with continuity and we have good players everywhere. We might not have the biggest names, but we have good players everywhere.
It's everywhere, yeah.
So, and I agree with you. What I've seen out of Matt Milano, credit to Alex Brasky. He's done a great job,
Yeah.
keeping Bills Mafia up to date with training camp updates and everything like that.
Right.
He's sniffing out plays in the backfield. He's blowing up runs. He's tackled for losses. All stuff that we saw with All-Pro Milano back in 2022.
Yeah.
When, he had that breakout year, especially that week, that home opener against Tennessee. I know you remember that pick six.
Yeah, I was at that game, Pat. When he had that pick six against Tannehill, I mean, the crowd went crazy for him. I mean, that was probably one of the best plays I've ever seen at Highmark Stadium. That interception right there, and I was like right like close to midfield when I
lucky bastard. You lucky bastard. I will say
so that was one of my favorite plays probably in Highmark that I've ever saw. So,
which actually we'll get into our favorite moments at Highmark either this week or next week. As you know, the new season, right? Final season, farewell season for the Ralph Wilson Stadium.
And we'll be there together this year. Week
yes,
3.
we will. Yes,
week
we will.
3, we'll be there for the Dolphins game. So
yes,
hopefully we'll get to see a nice highlight from Josh or a highlight play from the defense. I want to see some highlight play that we could just cherish and talk about
for the rest of our lives. Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but Matt Milano, man, him and Terrell Bernard, we've been robbed. We haven't been able to see those two both healthy. Which Terrell Bernard, seeing that we're on the topic of linebackers, is dealing with a hamstring injury. Unfortunately, another soft issue injury for Terrell Bernard. But thankfully, it is training camp. I know last year, before the season started, Terrell Bernard was working to try to get down to the bottom of these soft tissue injuries.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully he does. Maybe it's just you go from 0 to 100 in training camp. Well, you go from 0 to 60. Then 60 once pads come on, you go to 100.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a lot to ask. Running around like that. Maybe it's just something that popped up. Get it taken care of now. We don't need Terrell Bernard to play in the preseason.
Right. No, we don't. We don't need him.
Now, an interesting battle I'm looking at is linebacker 3. Is it Dorian Williams or is it a guy like Shaq Thompson who knows the system, a veteran?
Or is it Joe Andreessen?
Joe Andreessen, yes, who is also balling out right now.
I'm hearing he's balling out too. I mean, I know Dorian Williams. He struggles in coverage. It's coverage he struggles in, and he's good against the run. I think. Is that right?
Yeah, Dorian Williams is a guy where you see ball, get ball. He's a downhill. He's better at downhill. He's below average in pass coverage.
Right.
I don't know why Bills fans want him going, which is kind of not Maxwell Harrison. Matt Milano is as good as Dorian Williams in see ball, get ball. Obviously, Dorian Williams is more athletic. He's faster, but Matt Milano is just better in pass coverage.
Yeah, I agree. I think Andreessen has a good shot at winning this linebacker 3 job. I mean, we'll like I said, we got to look at the preseason again. But he had a great preseason last year. I think he balled out. He had how many tackles did he have in that Pittsburgh game last year? I mean, he
16,
had
I think it was
15 tackles. I mean, if he can rack up them tackles and stay in coverage with his man, then I think he has a really good shot at winning that linebacker 3 job, Pat.
So do I. And what else do you like about Joe Andreessen's game?
I just like his aggressiveness. Like he's just always around. Like when a guy catches the ball, I feel like he's right there and tackle for loss, or he gets the tackle done. I like his aggressiveness. He's always. I feel like he's always in the right spot. Like especially watching that Pittsburgh game last year in preseason. And I feel like it. Like I said, he's a young kid. Homegrown in Lancaster, New York. He's one of my fan favorites, and I hope he can at least win this third linebacker job.
So do I. It would be nice to see him do that. He does it for the love of the game as well. He's doing it for the love of his hometown team, his childhood team. Yep. So just a few years ago, he was tailgating in the parking lot with the Matt Milano jersey on, and now he's playing alongside Matt Milano, trying to be maybe one day be Matt Milano's replacement. Hopefully that's not for years to come, but. Yeah, it is that. I don't think it'll be Dorian,
but I think with Dorian, he excels in special teams. Like he's a special teams baller. So that's why I feel like Dorian, they're gonna want to keep him around for special teams too. If Andreessen does win the 3rd linebacker spot, but Dorian,
and so is Andreessen too, special teamer.
Andreessen too. Yeah, true. So I mean, I think both those guys will make the roster though.
I think Shaq Thompson. What do you think about Shaq Thompson? Because for me, Shaq Thompson, he's not a special teamer. He's a team captain, though. He's used to the McDermott system, and he has played, in meaningful games, and he still has a lot. I feel he still has something left in the tank as well. I like Shaq Thompson, but does he beat out two guys that are willing to be special teamers?
I don't know, because McDermott and Bean, they love their versatility guys, and if you can't do special teams, it's going to be hard to make the roster. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
So with Thompson, I feel like he's a bubble guy for me. Like it's I got to see what he does we got to see what he does in preseason. Like I said,
he might be right. Yeah,
preseason
can't come fast enough.
Right.
A lot of questions that need to be answered. A lot of questions we have, not a lot of answers.
Maybe we'll see some stuff at the red and blue scrimmage tomorrow to see how that goes too, because it's like a live scrimmage. So maybe we'll see like where a guy like Thompson fits in if he can make plays against his teammates. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think Shaq Thompson's going to be that Nicholas Morrow signing from last year.
Right.
But I do think that we will keep Shaq Thompson around, like how we do, how we did with AJ Klein.
Right, like a veteran leadership guy.
Right.
Yeah, I got you.
Now, there's not really much to talk about the defensive tackle room. TJ Sanders is making plays though. How do you feel about
he's making big plays. Walker. I've been hearing, and he's getting a lot of lectures from Ed Oliver. He's actually getting in his ear, and that's great to see, because you want to get the young guys to go up to the veterans to see how it's done and where they need to be position wise, and make your move and get in there to get after the quarterback. So I like that he's actually going to Ed Oliver to get some tips.
So do I. I like that a lot. And I love how, close knit this whole team is in general. But, especially that defensive line room. Ed Oliver's not looking at TJ Sanders as competition. Obviously, Ed Oliver did just get that contract extension.
I think he looks at him as a little brother,
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is.
Similar players, both three techs. Then you got Deion Walker, a guy who you haven't heard much about the last few days, but you have heard, he's a dancing
base eater.
Yeah, what did Ed Oliver say about him though? He's a bear that does something. Yeah. He's fast on his feet.
Insane. Right. His size is amazing. Like, we haven't had a guy like that probably since with Jordan Phillips.
Yeah, it's been a while since we had a guy like that. It has. And that's actually what I believe the Bills offensive line said. They said that Deion Walker is a Jordan Phillips. Okay. Hopefully, it's that 2019 Jordan Phillips where he had 9.5 sacks.
Yeah, that's the one we want to see, like the 2019 Phillips.
Right, because Deion Walker last year had that lower stress fracture in his back.
Mm-hmm.
He would have been a first-round pick if he would have came out the year prior, so 2023.
Right.
He would have been potentially a first-round pick. Top 15 pick, some people were saying.
Oh,
the fact that we got him in the fourth round, that's a steal.
Mm-hmm.
I know Whittle and beyond, they wanted him in the second round.
Even some people had him as a first-round pick if he didn't get injured, I think, in college, right? The year before.
Yeah.
Like they had him with the stress fracture in his back
on
him. So
yep.
That would be great if he could excel right away.
I agree. The wide receiver position has also been pretty intriguing. Obviously, at the top of the list, you have Khalil Shakir, or is it Keon Coleman? Let's talk a little about Keon Coleman and the rest of the receiver room with Elijah Moore, Josh Palmer, Steven Gosnell is making a few nice plays. Undrafted guy. Now, Tommy, when you look at this receiver room, do you see it being Keon Coleman at 1, or is that Shakir's job?
This is a good question, because I feel like every day since the Pats came on, we've seen like Keon Coleman making these awesome plays, like where he beats his man with his body, and he could just go up and get these balls. So like
that's that D1.
I think you're looking at maybe like a 1-1A type thing over there, like at receiver. I mean, they still got that mentality of everybody eats. So I mean, I see it like maybe more as like, instead of like a 1 and a 2, I could see it like being a 1 and a 1A.
I agree.
Like.
He had a bad.
And I know. I feel like Josh will, like, in third downs, I feel like Shakir will be the guy. But like when Josh wants to go for it all, I feel like he's gonna give Keon Coleman the shot. You know what I'm saying?
So do I. That goes back to his versatility, his range, back from D1 hoops with Michigan State where he was a
Yep.
basketball player. You see him put that on display all the time. His hops, his range, go up and get ball, which is hops. Then he had a bad day one at camp. Since then, though, people say his route running has looked better. Everything has looked good. I love Coleman. And I think all of our receivers can be 1A, 1B, but especially Shakir and Coleman. You got guys like Josh Palmer, who's just doing everything right. Josh Allen said that he gets in and out of his breaks so easily. His routes are clean.
Yep.
Then you have, Elijah Moore, who's a speedster who also gets out of his routes pretty quickly, said Josh Allen. Then you have Steven Gosnell. He's in a battle for a position. Don't know if we have room for him. But Curtis Samuel with a hamstring injury, man.
Yeah,
that tends to be always hurt.
I know.
It's unfortunate because we saw him in the playoffs, Tommy. Touched on the wild card, touched on in the divisional, touched on in the conference championship.
Yeah. He just needs to stay healthy and be on the field to show me that he's a reliable receiver for Josh. Like if he's dealing with these soft, hamstring leg injuries, what's the use of having him on this team if he can't stay healthy?
Right, and the Bills would clear $7.5 million if they were to trade him. I don't know if they do. But also Alec Anderson. Let's talk very quick about the offensive line.
Yeah.
Alec Anderson had a minor procedure done on his knee. He will be back next week per sources. Student body right. Shout out, he's always right. Student's always right. So obviously, that's not a big injury.
And the other big news we had
today,
ahead,
Tommy.
I will say that we activated Spencer Brown off the PUP list, and that is huge news for our offensive line. So the back must be feeling a lot better. What do you think? What do you think, Pat?
Yeah, I think especially for us offensive lines, especially our offensive line unit, who took the most snaps together all of last year's 800 something. There's no injuries there. You've seen guys come out. Obviously, when we're blowing people out, obviously they get nicked up, so they come out for a few plays. But our offensive line played the most snaps together out of all offensive line units last year. And I think we have a top 2 offensive line tied with Philadelphia. You can go either way with that. But having Spencer Brown back, getting back in that, putting his foot back in the ground. It's been a while. It's been a few months since OTAs. Right. You get back out there. Right. You just start, get better. You get some live reps. I'm sure he'll play a little bit in the preseason, probably week 3, I would assume.
Yeah.
But it's really good to have Spencer Brown back. Obviously, we paid him. Was it last year?
I think it was last year. Yeah.
Yeah, it was last year. It wasn't this off season.
No.
Yeah, it was last year. But having him back, obviously, a guy who continues to get better each year, it seems like. Love Spencer Brown. And it's just another, Josh Allen has his, right tackle back.
Yep.
I love it.
I'm sure he's happy about that. Very much happy that he came back. So.
Right.
So
now,
maybe we'll see him at the red and blue scrimmage tomorrow.
Right.
Yep.
I'm sure we will because he has been activated, and we saw with Dawson Knox. And the day after he was activated, I believe there was an off day that he practiced, or was it he did light warm-ups, then he was back on the field. But that's a hamstring.
Right. Yeah.
But also if your back is also just as important as a hamstring. So maybe we see him at the red and blue scrimmage. I'm sure he'll be practicing in some type. It might not be team drills. It might be individual drills, kind of like today.
True,
just pushing one of the trainers around.
Yeah.
But we do got some big news, Tommy.
Oh yeah.
And I know this is gonna be very interesting because I'm looking at how the Bills can do it.
Okay. Is this your audible of the week, Pat?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll go right to the audible of the week then. Let's do it. Audible of the week.
Well, first, is there anything else you want to talk about though, as far as training camp goes?
I think we covered the basics pretty much, like everything that we needed to talk about. So I think we can go into audible and Tommy's takes if you want.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
So per Greg Thompson at Cover One, the salary cap guru, very good at what he does over there at Cover One. Make sure you go check him out. Brandon Beane's Terry McLaurin trade action plan. You restructure Deion Dawkins, which clears up $9.832 million.
Pat, can you pin this tweet on the screen or no?
I can. Yes.
I was just going to ask you if we can pin it so we can see it.
Yeah, I will try to pull this up right now.
Okay.
On the fly. But yeah, Tommy, while I'm doing this, how about you tell everybody how you would feel about adding Terry McLaurin and what would he bring to this offense?
Adding Terry McLaurin to the Bills offense, like if they decide to go that route, like you're actually adding a true number 1 receiver. Like your receiving core would instantly upgrade in a heartbeat. I mean, having McLaurin and Coleman on the outside. I mean, you could have Shakir on the inside. I mean, you could have Palmer on the other side. Like you could match up these receivers. I mean, like it's gonna be hard to stop. And then like you said, you have Knox and Kincaid. But I mean, if you did add Knox to the trade or Samuel, then I mean you still would be pretty deep at receiver. So it's like adding McLaurin, that's truly a deep threat, and he's a great route runner. Adding him to our receiving core with Josh Allen, oh man, that would feed families in Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm still trying to pull this up. I agree with you, and I'll give my opinions on Terry McLaurin as soon as I pull this up. Now, obviously, he wants a long-term contract.
Right.
How much are you willing to pay him? And what does the contract look like?
That's a good question. I mean, what is he, 29 years old, Pat?
Yes.
I would consider maybe if he would do it, I mean, giving him maybe a 3-year, $65 million contract, maybe 3-year 60. How do you feel? 3-year 60.
3 years, 60. That's $20 million. Should we got Shakir for 12? I believe it was. I think that's too low.
You'd go higher.
I think yes.
How about 3-year, $80 million?
3 years, $80 million. What does that break down to? You got 80. How much would that be per year, though? It's over 20. That would be. Oh my goodness, I am
like
stuck.
29 million a year, something like that.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
80 divided by 3 is 26. That's about
26.
the range that I would pay.
Go around 80 mil. Okay, three, or would you do 4-year 80 mil?
4 comes out.
They like to do. The Bills tend to do 4-year deals, so
yeah,
you know.
All right, so I have it pulled up right here.
Okay.
Yeah, but very quick, I'll give my opinion on Terry McLaurin. He's a guy who
got to say about.
He's a true number one wide receiver. He reminds me a little bit of Amari Cooper. He's selfless. He cares more about team winning. But obviously, in this situation, you do see that he wants to get paid, rightfully so. Be one of the league's best receivers. Coming from Ohio State, wide receiver I think this is the guy where he's been, before. It feels like he's already done this. He's been, type system where if you look before, they had Curtis Samuel, which we could reconnect with his former teammate in Buffalo.
Yeah,
he's just he's another weapon for Josh Allen, and if he's okay with not being the number one guy, because he wouldn't be, because we don't really truly have a number one guy. But obviously, you get Terry McLaurin, that becomes your number one guy.
Right.
But I don't think that changes anything in the Bills' philosophy or system. Yeah.
You don't think they would want a receiver in return like a Samuel or like a Knox?
Well, I'm glad you bring that up because Greg over here, shout out to Greg Thompson again at Cover One. Make sure you check out
Greg
on all their great work. Restructured Deion Dawkins which would clear up $9.832 million. Restructured Dawson Knox, which clears up $6.247. You trade Curtis Samuel at $3.9 million left on his contract and a 2026 second to Washington, 20.15 cap space created for Terry McLaurin and his existing $15.5 million. Then they reach a contract extension 3 years, $90 million to reduce the 2025 cap hit and create space for cut down day in our in-season moves. So basically, you were to trade for him, you give him 3 years, $90 million.
Okay.
Then you push the $15 million this year along the remaining 3 years. So he will play for us. He's a free agent after this year. He'll be here until 2020 after the 2029 season.
Okay.
And obviously, you pay him that 15 down the road as well. You split it up, however you want to split it up. It could be 5-5-5. It could be 3, 9, and 4, whatever the case may be. Yeah. But then that actually seemed very reasonable. I think it's more reasonable.
I think trading for him would be more reasonable than Trey Hendrickson. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I agree because who knows if Cincinnati wants to trade with us, and nobody knows what type of money he wants.
In the NFC, so Washington would be a perfect trade partner. I think they would trade him to us in a heartbeat. To get it done. I think it would be a match made in heaven.
No, I agree. And, back to adding Terry McLaurin to this offense, he becomes your number one guy, a
Yep.
big-time receiver that can make big plays, which I felt like we were lacking last year in the playoffs, especially in the divisional round and the conference championship game. We didn't have that guy who, looked like we were missing that one guy to be that guy, which I think we added on to that now with Josh Palmer and Elijah Moore. But your receiver room goes from, I think we have what would you rank our receiver room? Is like 10 to 15 range?
I would say 10, 15 range, yeah. I mean, if Coleman explodes, then it could easily go up to top 10, top 5 if Coleman, excels at what he does.
Based off, potential and everything, this receiver room can, easily be top 10 if guys like Josh Palmer, Elijah Moore break onto the scene, the emergence of Keon Coleman. But if you get a Terry McLaurin, your receiver room goes to top 5.
Oh, I think if you trade for Terry McLaurin, you got a top 5 unit in the league, Pat. Top 5.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, top 5.
Yeah.
And we already have the best offense in the NFL. So what does that tell you?
Yeah, I know. And then with our pieces on defense, it's like it's a Super Bowl or bust team if you instantly add McLaurin right now. I think.
Yeah, and
I think because everybody keeps saying like the Ravens have the number 1 team right now, but I think if we added a McLaurin, we would jump the Ravens.
I agree. And, that's the thing about the Ravens. They're very top heavy, especially on offense. Defense are very, they're very good around the board. But that's the thing with a lot of these teams at the top of the list. They have big name players, but their depth is not good. And that's something that the Bills are trying to change. So I agree with you. If you add Terry McLaurin, you got a top, you got definitely a top 5 unit, a wide receiver unit in the NFL.
Right.
So I'm all for adding Terry McLaurin. It's another weapon for Josh Allen. You can never have enough weapons.
Yep.
And just what he can do on the field, separation, catching the ball, big time catches. Terry McLaurin's overall a very good receiver. And I still think that he is slightly underrated compared to his peers.
I kind of like with McLaurin, I think he's kind of crazy. Just, what Washington has built over there. I mean, I think they have a capable Super Bowl team right now. So for him to want to trade like that, like it kind of like, I think he's kind of being selfish to his teammates. Unlike what James Cook's doing, where he's, wanting to stay and help his team get to the Super Bowl. So I kind of, you got to put it away where he's kind of being selfish, but then again, Cook on Cook's side, he wants to be here and he's at least practicing and wanting to get that Super Bowl for the guys.
Right, but when you look at it though, I tend to disagree with you just for the fact of when Washington was bad, he stuck around. He didn't leave.
You're right.
And he stayed through all that. And, you see them trade for Deebo Samuel. They extend a few guys. They make a few moves. But it kind of feels like Terry McLaurin's like, okay, these guys get paid, but I can't. I've been here longer.
No, I get it. I
get that. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for, his business. Unfortunately, it's not just putting on a helmet and going to play, back like how it was, in Little League and everything like that.
I'm just thinking of like James Cook could have did the same.
Oh, when you compare it to James Cook, right? He could have, yes.
Trade, and I just feel like he's taking it the right way right now.
No, yeah, right now when you look at it, you have a rookie quarterback, but the play advocate, this is probably the only time Terry McLaurin can get paid. Because once Jaden Daniels is due for a contract in 2 years,
that is true. Yeah,
you can't afford half the guys they have right now. You're not going to pay Brian Robinson top of the line money. That's the thing with a lot of these rookie quarterbacks. You got to win now,
right?
Yeah. You already got teams with established quarterbacks in the league like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, and you got to try to compete against these guys with a rookie quarterback. Well, a quarterback who's on his rookie contract. You got to try to put the best team around him.
That's true.
So this might be Terry McLaurin's last chance to get paid in Washington, but I do agree with you. If you care about winning, and that's the thing with a lot of players nowadays, they want to win and they want top of the line money. You can't have both. If you want top of the line money, you got to go play for a team like the Browns.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
So, but I mean, if you want to be on a Super Bowl contending team like Buffalo, like James Cook, apparently you want $20.5 million. You want that Saquon Barkley contract. You're not getting that in Buffalo. If you want to win, you want to build a legacy,
right?
Obviously, you can build a legacy anywhere, but players are known for what they do in the playoffs. That's why Drew Brees is not talked about a lot. Now, if you want top of the line money, it won't be here. But if you can settle for like 13, 14, I think 14 is top dollar.
Yeah.
You get paid, and you get a chance at a Super Bowl.
Chance to the Super Bowl. Yep. You get
Right.
both. You know.
Right. But
You're right. We'll see
if the
where
Bills can make it work with Terry McLaurin,
Yeah, if they can make
I'm
it
all
work,
for it.
all for it. But I mean,
I don't think he's a Stephon Diggs. I don't.
But,
He's a selfless receiver.
yeah. So if they can work it out, they can work it out. But if not, then we'll see what happens.
Yep. Now, Tommy, it's your favorite. Oh, we do got a question here from Josh
All
before
right.
we get to Tommy's takes.
All right.
My question is, why would the Commanders want Samuel back? They let him walk once already. Tommy, I'll let you take that first.
The only thing I can think of is if they would want Samuel back would be his versatility, but I just, like I said, maybe they wouldn't want him. They probably maybe would want capital and maybe a guy like, I would say maybe a guy like Knox, or I don't know. I mean, would you put in a guy like Palmer in there?
I would not put Palmer in there. You just got him, and we need a guy that, you know,
Yeah.
his routes, we need his route running.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of like what the Pirates did today, just totally off topic. They traded for Taylor Rogers and traded Taylor Rogers yesterday and traded Taylor Rogers to the Cubs today. Very weird why you trade for somebody and then send them off. But yeah, they might want Curtis Samuel for the continuity, but again, it is a whole new system out there, new coaching staff, I believe. So maybe they won't want him, but I think Greg was just going by.
Maybe they just want capital and maybe another position or something, you know.
AJ Panessa?
Yeah, if they want
They'll look for D-line help.
If they need another defensive end, I mean, they just signed Von Miller a week ago, so they might want to add another guy, and you know.
Yeah. So
we'll see how it plays out. It's just gonna be a fishy situation with McLaurin. We'll see where it ends up. I mean, at the end of the day, you could hear maybe tomorrow or the next day, oh, they agree with an extension, and then he's happy. But sometimes,
at the end of
that's how it plays out. You know what I'm saying? Like when they request a trade, then you know maybe the GM or the owner come together and then they get an extension done. So you never know how it's going to play out.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you know, requesting a trade is nothing but a negotiation tactic for agents and, you know, front offices.
Yep.
But yeah, that's why they wouldn't want Terry McLaurin is a guy who's, you know, versatility. He's still relatively young and on a cheaper contract. That's why I think they would want him.
Yeah.
And maybe that's how the Bills could afford him. I think that's what Greg was trying to get to. Obviously, if they wanted a little bit more, you could add a little bit more.
Right.
But I agree with Tommy. You could see it tomorrow that he's going to get extended, which I think that's what's going to happen.
I think so.
He leaves.
I think they're going to work out an extension. That's just my opinion. But
so do I.
But you agree too, Pat. So we'll see. It could get fishy where they're going to have they could force trade him. You know.
Yeah, they could. And I mean, you know, if Kansas City or Baltimore's in, you got to be in too. Which we know Brandon Beane checks in on every player available. Brandon Beane has said that.
Yep, he's always in on.
Right. So wait and see.
Yep.
But Tommy?
Yep.
Tommy's takes.
This is the best part of the show, right, Pat?
I love it every week.
All right. This week in Tommy's takes, I have Joey Bosa over 20 sacks this season. I think he's gonna feed off this D line, and he's gonna eat. I think he's gonna go after these quarterbacks, and he's gonna get 20 sacks. Pat, how do you feel about that?
I say it all the time with Beyond. A lot of people know this is kind of my thing. Let's fucking go. I love it. I love it. I think if Joey Bosa can stay healthy, he is a top of the line pass rusher.
Yep.
He's a top pass rusher if he can stay healthy.
I see Josh got the eyes. Ooh.
Yes, he does right here. But that's the thing with the Bills. They've run a heavy rotation on their defensive line, keeps people fresh. I think that's what Joey Bosa needs.
Yeah.
And I think, this is probably one of the better defensive lines that he's played with. Obviously, the Chargers had a very good defensive line last year with Puna Ford, Khalil Mack. And I think that's what we have here, but he wasn't healthy last year.
Right.
So I think if he can stay healthy and he has nothing lingering, because he's playing through injuries last year. If he's not playing through any injuries, which, obviously you're going to play through injuries. It's the game of football. But, I mean, if they're not really affecting you, I don't think that's too far-fetched.
Yeah, I think, like I said, he stays healthy, and he, like I said, with our D-line as stacked as it is right now, with the rookies and the vets, I think he has a great chance of reaching that 20 sack mark.
So do I. Let's freaking go, Tommy.
Let's freaking go.
The legend of Puna Ford. Yeah, only if he would have been a legend with us and not a pushover.
Yeah.
But Tommy,
Yep. We
the
want to.
Hall of Fame game starts in 9 minutes.
Yeah. You want to plug our shows and get to it.
Yes, here over at Do Champions, we bring you all Bills content and content around the NFL. Make sure you follow us on all social medias: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, all your favorite audio sources at Do Champions. And I'm pretty sure there's Threads too. This Instagram's Twitter, basically at Do Champions. We appreciate all the support. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Make sure you check out Chasing Data every Friday at 9 Eastern. Check out the Gridiron Grand Slam as I attempt to win in Madden. Sometimes I win, but yeah, I win more than I
You have those nights, you have those nights.
It's everything.
Yeah.
At 11 o'clock Eastern, make sure you check out 30 Manageable every Saturday at 9 o'clock Eastern. Check out what else we have here. Coast to Coast every Wednesday, 8 o'clock Eastern. And check out Bill's Canvas every Thursday now at 8 o'clock Eastern. Special time here today due to the Hall of Fame game. And for myself, all I'd say is go Bills and good to be seen.
Same here. Go Bills. Good to be seen. And let's paint.
Let's paint. See you guys next week. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollos, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.